Uh, you're no stranger to MSG in that area, but what is it like? I mean, in this year with this team being able to go back there and play against UConn, and has he given you any words of inspiration, any special messages, knowing the circumstances of this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's always great just to go back home and play at probably one of the best, if not the best, arena in college basketball and even professional NBA. Especially when we play at the Garden, UNC fans always show out. I remember last year when we played against Ohio State, all I seen was a bunch of Tar Heel blue, and it's a lot of high energy there. And just going back there and have my family and friends come and show out and support, it means a lot to me. And it's a different type of energy that playing there, and it kind of just favors me a little bit. But also, Coach Davis has also emphasizes how much he loves playing at the Garden, and his time with the Knicks and just being able to coach there. So he's definitely fired up, and we know what's at stake coming up into tomorrow's game. But we just gotta remain in the present moment. But definitely super excited to play there again.
Quick follow up. Hubert just told us about, after the great question by Adam, about
Thank you.
about his time playing for the Knicks, and how Hubert joked that he was afraid that those guys on the Knicks were going to break him in half because they were so physical. Do you feel like the play gets more physical when you're in the world's greatest arena?
I mean, I feel like that's anywhere in New York. It's not just in that arena. You can play at the Parks, you can play at Rutgers, Dykeman. It's always going to be a physical. And I think that's what defines New York basketball and what they bring. And it's always a physicality game. It's always, a dog-eat world. And that's something that I love playing for and playing in. I kind of give credit to New York a lot just in terms of when I was in the city playing with the New York Gauchos. They kind of helped me with my mental and just going into games of having that mindset, just from a New York guard standpoint. But it's always going to be a physical game, wherever you're at in New York. It doesn't matter if it's at the Garden or you're at a local park.
RJ, do you serve as the team tour guide when you guys make the trips back up to New York?
Say again?
Do you serve as the team tour guide when you go back to New York?
I probably have to give it to Cormac because he actually lives in the city, so he's definitely gonna have to give the guys out. But for me, it's just more so I just love going out there. And one time I went out there to shop. I'm not out there just to give tour guide, so I'll probably give it to Cormac.
But these neutral site games for you guys, obviously you had a few in the Bahamas against some of the kind of more higher ranked teams, things like that. How do you feel like that's kind of challenged you guys and helped you guys so far in this early season?
I think we definitely prepared us for what's to come, and we had a tough schedule, tough non-conference schedule, but I think we're ready for it. I think facing those high caliber teams in the Bahamas and Tennessee, and I think it's prepared us with the talent that's going to happen within the next couple of upcoming weeks. And it's been some back and forth games, some games you should have won, but I think it's definitely mentally and physically prepared us for the type of basketball we're going to be playing in the next couple of days. So I think we're ready for it.
Have you ever pulled up any old clips of Coach playing with the Knicks in the NBA, but specifically with the Knicks and with the Bruisers that you were talking about earlier?
I remember last year he had showed us a clip, right before we played Ohio State, just of how his team played with the New York Knicks and the different fights and brawls they would get in. He was just showing us how physical they were and what type of mentality they had. So we saw highlights of that right before the Ohio State game last year.
I know that you guys talk about how intense he is, but at the time, like Adam said earlier, he kind of had this choir boy image about him going to play with those guys. Is it kind of hard for you to maybe picture him being sort of an outsider, going in to play with some of the toughest dudes ever played in the league, and do you see maybe some of that old Hubert, whatever he learned there, kind of come out now?
I mean, it's definitely something getting used to. I think I'm used to it at this point, just to see how quick he's able to turn the switch on and off. He's definitely a great human being, great guy, has a nice personality, but he also is very intense and has the passion for the game that goes beyond measures. And I think that's what kind of benefits us and gets us going, just to see how much he cares and how ready and hungry he is to win games and play these games. So it definitely gets us going. And I think from the outside looking in, for the newcomers, they were probably caught by surprise because they've never seen that side of him. They always seen him, just being, the great guy he is, the coach he is, nice with joy, filled with joy. But then he also has a switch that you kind of just makes us, get caught off guard a little bit with his intensity and his, I tell him he spazzes. I joke with him a lot about that, but it's been great though, because it definitely helps myself, because I know where he's coming from. This all comes from a place of heart.
RJ, you good next week. We were talking to Armando after the game the other day, and he said that he told you earlier this year, this is your team. And I think his quote was, "We're all just gonna fall in line behind you." Do you remember that conversation? And did he come up to you and like lay that on you?
I mean, me and Mando, we spoke about it going to his senior year, and then briefly this past summer. And I think he's right, and we had a lot of conversations about it. We knew it was coming. We knew we had a lot of newcomers coming in, and we were kind of like the OGs and the veterans that had the experience. We experienced going to the national championship, but we also experienced another great season last year. So, credit to him, and I appreciate him for saying that. But I'm humble, and I think it's a team sport. I don't think it's just me. I think my teammates, from myself to Harrison to Cormac to Elliott, all the way down the line, we all help each other, and not just it might not always just be me to have a great game and to be that scorer. It's always gonna be someone else. But I think in terms of Mondo saying it's my team, just being more vocal as a leader and as a point guard of this team, that's what I've been doing the most, and kind of just rallying guys along.
Where were y'all when he told you that? Were you here? Were you at the beach?
I think we were. I think we were here. It might have been like in the practice gym, because that's where most of our time was spent this summer. We had a couple of workouts together just to build that two-man chemistry, and so it definitely took place like in the summer in the practice gym.
RJ, Hubert, I asked Hubert about does he have a metric that he looks to see when he's talking about pace and tempo, playing faster this year? Does he look to something? He said he's not looking at the stats; it's more of like an eye test for him. Mm-hmm. How does, for you, when you guys are maybe playing at a better tempo and pace, not just fast breaks, but just the way you move the ball and everything like that, what does it feel like when you know you're doing it right?
It feels great. But I think it's also something that we prepared in practice for. It comes naturally. We do it in practice. We push the ball in practice. We find an open man, and I think it's been beneficial for us so far. We're able to, we know our tempo, we know the pace where we need to be at, and we can see the benefits from it. And it feels great just to know that I'm not the only one going to be the main scorer, or it's always good, the great mentality for this team. I think that's what speaks for the unselfishness, and we're always looking for each other. We're always happy for each other's success, and the pace so far has been great. The ball movements have been great. We've been from one side of the court to the other, and hopefully we can continue to keep it up and keep it moving.
Go ahead.
When you think about, you watch film of Tristan Newton, what pops about him? He can do so many things, but what are some of the things that are absolutely his go-to that you guys need?
He's kind of like the head of the snake for them. He's a do-it-all type of player, point guard. He can rebound the ball extremely well as a point guard, and he kind of runs the team well for them. So I think we just got to key in on him and know his strengths and weaknesses, but also give him credit for who he is and who the team is. But I think that's some of the things that he does well, just as far as an all-around point guard.
You guys have played a couple of edgy teams already this year. How much does having played them help you going to tomorrow night, because they play with an edge as well?
Yeah, I think they play with the edge, but I think we do as well. And I think we kind of made that statement in Tennessee, and just kind of build off of that. And we know what type of energy they're going to bring. It's going to be at the Garden, and what type of coaches and players they are going to come with, and we have to just be ready and prepared for that as well. But same ways they come with the edge, we do as well.
That's two Gauchos mentions for you the last couple of days, which I enjoy. What did playing with them growing up teach you? And also, do you think now, where it just seems like you are in attack mode lately, are you getting back to the White Plains days a little bit, just in terms of what you did then with just getting buckets?
First and foremost, Gauchos, they gave me the mindset to not back down from anyone, and always, go at whomever. It doesn't matter the size, of the team, or it's all about the heart. And I give credit to like Tommy Swinton, who was my AU coach, and he really taught me that at a young age, and that kind of stuck with me throughout my whole career playing basketball so far. Just to always have that mindset of like go at people, be the aggressor, and not back down. It could be someone highly ranked, it could be someone who's 6'7". But heart's always gonna win. And in terms of me getting into that mode, if the White Plains mode, as you said, I think I just had a really long talk with myself this past summer, and just from a mental standpoint, just to go into my senior year with filled with joy and no regrets. I want to have a special year and not look back on it and say, oh, I wish I could have done this a little bit better, or why did I take that risk? Kind of just stepping out to my comfort zone a little bit, taking more risk, and just believing in myself more. I think that's what I've really rallied in with myself, and understanding my true potential. And I think that's why I'm in that mode right now.
Just to follow up on that, did you always play with them, or did you play with other teams growing up?
So I played with the Gauchos from second grade all the way up to 8th, and then once I hit high school, that's when I went on the circuit.
Very cool.
RJ, couple more. Can you, those of us who think that you could be or should be considered one of the best players in the country, or the best player in the country, I know you have the confidence that, do you think small guys like, relatively small guys like you, do you think that hurts them to get that kind of recognition?
I mean, yeah, but I think, for us being smaller, that's already a downfall, as people may see us, because we're not 6'5" or frequently athletic. But I think, my motto is be so good that they can't ignore you. It doesn't matter how small you are, how tall you are. Go out there and produce, and, trusting yourself and trusting the work that you've put in, and behind closed doors that people may not have seen. And for my size, I know I was always going to be small, and I wasn't going to be like the biggest guy, but I do have the biggest heart and the biggest, confidence in myself that I'm going to go out there and produce at all times, no matter who the person may be.
Thank you.
Seth kind of talked about the mentality that you guys have to take defensively, starting you and Elliott, some of the smaller guards. When you're facing a team like UConn that's going to start a couple guards who are 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" even, I mean, how important is that mentality going into the game, and what does that kind of look like out on the court?
I mean, I think we kind of had a true test of that against when we played against FSU, when everyone was 6'7" and up. But our mindset, mentality is always going to remain the same. And I know me and Ellie are kind of on the smaller side in terms of height, but we've done a great job so far of maintaining our mans, being the guys, being in the right positions to help our teams when needed. And I think we're such a dynamic team that we're able to throw out different defenses, and we could get our smaller guards could guard the bigs, and vice versa, the bigs could guard the guards. So I think the coaches do a great job of putting us in the right positions to be in these moments that we're going to be facing tomorrow night. And I think we're more than prepared of what's to come and what's coming. So right now, just gotta trust your work and trust your practice.
RJ, wanted to ask you actually about Seth. Obviously, knowing about his defense last season, and he's showing it again this year, but he's also offensively been able to get some looks, things like that. What can you kind of say about his, progression as a player and just the impact that he's had so far this season?
No, I'm super proud of Seth. I mean, his work ethic this past summer and this off season has been tremendous, and he's been doing a great job working on his shot, his confidence, his mental. He's been a huge impact for us, and that's something that we're going to need for him going forward. He's playing at a phenomenal level right now. His impact on the defensive end has been great. I've always told him you could be the best defender in the ACC, if not one of the best in the country. The way he's able to impact the ball and kind of speed guards up, but then also him staying aggressive on the offensive end, attacking the paint, shooting the open jump shots, getting to his mid range. So stuff like that he's been working on this whole off season. He's doing a great job, and he's been consistent with it, and that's the main part.
RJ,
Last one.
looking back at just your whole basketball career and growing up in New York, coming into this game, maybe what would you tell young RJ who's just starting out?
That's a good question. Just to remain where your feet are, and understand the journey, and not really get too caught up in what may be going on outside of it, what may be going right, what may be going wrong. Just to remain present and to continue to trust yourself and believe in yourself because you came a long way. So I'm pretty sure younger RJ looking now, and the big RJ is kind of proud of where he is, and that's all he can ask for.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks,
Thanks,